When I said it, I thought it was harmless, a stupid joke meant to make my friends laugh. One last time with my ex, I'd said, smirking over champagne as we celebrated my upcoming wedding. They'd all laughed, but what I didn't know was that someone at the table had recorded it. That tiny moment of careless pride would unravel everything I thought was solid. My fiancé, Mark, was the kind of man who listened more than he spoke, who showed love in quiet ways, leaving notes in my bag, cooking breakfast when I worked late. We'd been planning our wedding for months, and I'd been caught up in the chaos, the attention, the compliments. I'd started feeling invincible, like nothing could touch what we had. So when my college friends teased me about my ex showing up at the same resort where we'd have our honeymoon, I joked, maybe I'll say goodbye properly, one last time. It was meant as sarcasm. But words, once spoken, can't be taken back. 2 nights before the wedding, Mark came home early from work. He looked calm, too calm. "We need to talk," he said. My stomach twisted. He held up his phone, the video paused on my face, mid-laugh. "What is this?" My voice trembled. "It's just a joke, Mark. You know I'd never. Do you realize how this sounds?" He interrupted quietly. "To everyone else? To me." I tried to explain, tried to grab his hand, but he stepped back. "I thought you were different," he said, his eyes glassy. "But you wanted a story to tell your friends. I just didn't know I was the punchline." That night, he packed a small bag and left. The next morning, the venue called to confirm a cancellation. I felt my entire world collapse in seconds. My phone flooded with messages from friends, some angry, some sympathetic, but none of it mattered. The man who had loved me unconditionally was gone because I couldn't control my ego for 5 seconds. For days, I couldn't eat or sleep. I replayed that clip over and over until I hated the sound of my own laughter. I wrote him letters I never sent, left voicemails he never answered. 1 week later, I went to his apartment, desperate for closure. He opened the door but didn't invite me in. "Mark, please," I whispered. "You have to believe me." He looked at me for a long moment. "I did believe you. That's why it hurts this much." My chest tightened. "It was a stupid joke." "It wasn't just a joke," he said quietly. "It was you showing the world you didn't value what we had. I spent years trying to make you feel loved, and you spent 1 sentence making me feel foolish." I broke down crying, right there in the hallway. "I would give anything to take it back," I said. His eyes softened for a moment, but then he shook his head. "The problem isn't what you said, Anna. It's that you said it because a part of you wanted the attention. And until you figure out why, nothing will change." Then he closed the door. That sound haunted me for months. The soft click of finality. The wedding dress hung untouched in my closet, a cruel reminder of everything I destroyed with my own arrogance. I cut off contact with those friends, quit the job that fed my pride, and started therapy. For the first time in my life, I sat alone with my thoughts, and it was unbearable. I realized I'd built my identity around validation, likes, laughter, admiration, but never around character. And when the applause stopped, all that was left was silence. 2 years passed. I rebuilt myself piece by piece. I learned how to listen, how to apologize, how to be quiet without feeling small. Then, one afternoon, at a charity event for a community center I volunteered at, I saw him. Mark. He looked older, calmer, but his eyes were the same. He approached me slowly. "You look good," he said softly. I smiled faintly. "So do you." We talked about small things, the weather, work, the city. Then he said, "I saw your name on the donor list. You've changed." I met his eyes. "You taught me that change only matters when no one's watching." He smiled, but there was sadness there too. "I hope you're happy now." "I am," I said truthfully. "But I still think about what I lost." He nodded. "Sometimes that's the price of learning who you are." As he walked away, I didn't call after him. I didn't beg or cry. Because this time I understood. Some mistakes don't get fixed. They shape you. That night, I went home, opened my old journal, and wrote, "Love isn't something you prove to the world. It's something you protect from it." I closed the book and smiled through tears. The wedding never happened, but maybe the real vow I needed was the one I made to myself, to never again take someone's heart for granted just to feel seen.